It may be early November, but that doesn't mean you can't get in one last round of golf. Most courses are closed for the season, but you can still head to Fox Hollow in Winston Heights. The grass isn't exactly green anymore, and it is a little windy, but if you find it a bit chilly, you can always practice inside the golf dome. Fox Hollow will stay open until the snow sticks. Here's what else is making news tonight. Alberta teachers launch a costly legal fight against Bill 2.
But what is the price of freedom? What is the price of having your rights stripped away?
The ATA wants a judge to decide if any of Alberta's back-to-work legislation is unconstitutional. Plus, the toxic drug crisis is taking a toll on users and first responders.
We're just being run into the ground and nobody seems to care.
The ripple effect to you of a burned out system.
And what happens then? That means long response times across the city.
And open early and welcoming skiers.
And it's been fun. It's good to get back on the hill.
As resorts around the world battle climate change, Alberta is sitting pretty.
Other than Utah in North America, you're the most climate resilient.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. We begin with breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. A Conservative MP from Alberta has quit the party. Matt Jeanneroux has represented Edmonton Riverbend for 10 years. He says he is not crossing the floor to join the Liberals. He plans to step down in the spring. In a statement, Jeanneroux does not elaborate on why he's resigning, but says he hopes to have the opportunity to address the House one final time in the future. It's another blow for the Conservative Party. On Tuesday, an MP from Nova Scotia crossed the floor to join the Liberals. In a statement, Pierre Poilievre thanked Jeanneroux for his service and wished him well. A vote of confidence was held in the House of Commons this afternoon on this week's federal budget, but the result was a foregone conclusion. The Conservative sub-amendment to the budget was defeated. The Tories wanted some changes made, so the minority Liberal government will not fall tonight after the NDP said this afternoon it would vote against the motion. A Bloc Québécois amendment that also calls for the House to reject the budget will be voted on tomorrow. Alberta teachers are ready to take the province to court. It was expected after teachers were legislated back to work with a rejected deal last week. Teachers and union leaders have been vocal about the government's use of the notwithstanding clause, many calling it unconstitutional. As Stephanie Thomas reports, this court filing isn't the only thing bubbling up in the labour movement.
After more than a week of considering its options, the Alberta Teachers Association is challenging the provincial government in court.
We realize that this is an uphill battle and that it will cost us. But what is the price of freedoms?
First, an interlocutory injunction filed Thursday in Edmonton asked the court to pause Bill 2, the legislation that ended the 3-week province-wide strike. The second part of the action asks a judge to declare use of the notwithstanding clause to pass the bill improper and ultimately a violation of the charter-protected freedoms of assembly and expression. The ATA says it's received support and donations for a costly legal fight.
And we will continue to accept donations from other organizations if they see it's a value for them to be involved in this fight, and we will welcome that because, like I said, this is everyone's fight.
One constitutional law expert says a win would send a strong message.
That these notwithstanding clauses, yes, they are legitimate in certain situations, but when they are being used illegitimately, there is a right to stand against it.
The Alberta Federation of Labour says it's surveying for support for a general walkout in a text message fan-out. AFL President Gil McGowan says almost 10,000 respondents support a general strike to oppose the UCP's attacks on worker rights.
Well, frankly, they've forced us to consider something outside of the confines of the law because they've made a mockery of the law as it is.
As there are various contracts in the bargaining process with the province, one Labour economics professor doubts the Labour movement will gain traction.
At most, it's a signature campaign at this point. I mean, people are dying on the planet, and their form of war is collecting signatures. These are not the same thing.
The NDP opposition says the government has the power to calm tension raised by organized labor groups.
The job action does not drag on forever. It is something that can be resolved if the government is willing to come to the table and negotiate in good faith.
In a statement, the province says it will defend its position vigorously in court. The case will be heard on November 20th.
And Stephanie joins us now. So, Stephanie, how are other unions supporting teachers?
Tara, there are some signs in the public sector that there are going to be more strikes down the line. We heard recently from the chapter that represents licensed practical nurses that a large majority voted in favor of a strike. And we also know that the HSAA, which is a large healthcare union, is also going to the bargaining table with the province next week. And officials tell us that they could be considering a strike vote themselves if a deal cannot be reached. The AFL also adds that it will apply for intervener status with the ATA's legal challenge. Tara.
Okay, Stephanie, thank you. Premier Daniel Smith is questioning how the province's recall legislation is being used.
I don't believe that the recall petitions have been entered to in good faith. That being said, Mr. Speaker, there is no legislation on the table at the moment to make any changes. So the members are going to wait and see if any of these petitions end up getting the number of signatures, and then we'll deal with it at that time.
The Premier says recall legislation shouldn't be used to topple a government. She says that's what elections are for. 2 recall petitions have been given the green light so far. One targets Education Minister Dimitrios Nicolaides. The other is for Airdrie MLA Angela Pitt. Applicants have 3 months now to collect the required signatures. A Calgary man is accused of traveling to Hawaii and sexually assaulting a teenage girl. Jordan Canagan joins us now. And Jordan, police say that the two met on a popular online game.
Tara, according to the prosecutor in Hawaii, the two met online before the man traveled from Calgary to meet the 14-year-old about 2 weeks ago. 21-year-old Einreb John Pasaquin Daizon was arrested in Hawaii and is now charged with first-degree sexual assault. Police allege the man and the 14-year-old girl met on the popular online game Roblox before he made arrangements to travel there. They say the assaults happened between October 23rd and 31st at several Airbnbs in Waikoloa. Daizon was charged earlier this week with the Class A felony. Bail is set at $250,000.
Well, it's very concerning, not just as a police officer, but also as a parent, in the day and age that we live in now, access, to underage children for, adults who might have bad intentions, it's so easy, it's so easy to make contact with them.
Now, police say it was the parents of the victim who reported the assaults, and they were able to make the arrest before the accused flew back to Calgary. If convicted of first-degree sex assault, the Calgary man could face up to 20 years in prison. Tara?
Okay, Jordan, thank you. The city of Calgary is sharing new stats from its downtown blitz Wednesday. During Operation Order, officers attended more than 200 calls with a variety of weapons, drugs, and drug paraphernalia being seized. 25 people were charged with a total of 40 offenses. That includes 2 people linked to an ongoing investigation into the theft of $20,000 of collectibles. Calgary business owners are feeling pessimistic about their economic future. That's according to a new report. It shows local businesses are feeling more anxious than they have in 2 years. Here's Alicia Fielberg.
This Calgary toy store owner is stocking up ahead of the holidays amid economic challenges.
It is very, very difficult. There's so much uncertainty going on right now.
He's not alone. In a new Canadian Chamber of Commerce report, nearly 1 in 4 local businesses reported feeling anxious about the coming days, with the majority saying cost-related obstacles were the biggest concern.
Right across the board, everything from debt, interest, inflation continues to be persistent, but also trade and tariffs, and businesses continuing to absorb many costs related to that tariff uncertainty.
1/3 of businesses say they are directly affected by U.S. tariffs. Many are holding off on investments and expect more supply chain issues. Most of Castle Toys products arrive through the U.S. They also ship to American customers.
I'd say anywhere between 15 to 20% of our annual revenue. It's like flicking a light switch. It was on one day, now it's off. It's not economic to do business as a Canadian sending things to the United States.
While all sizes of businesses are impacted, smaller companies are hardest hit.
I think it's impacting small businesses more. When we look at CFIB's October Business Barometer, it shows that Alberta's small business confidence is actually the lowest in the country.
Insurance costs and taxes also weigh heavily on Alberta's small businesses. This store owner is counting on the community to help weather this storm.
There's not too much sunshine on the horizon. We're really hoping, people are out there and they start shopping locally and support small business.
And Alicia joins us from Crescent Heights tonight. So, Alicia, what could help?
Tara, what the Chamber is asking is for all three levels of government to work together to provide some cost relief through things like changes to taxes and regulations, also to explore some more trade opportunities and to make sure that those labor disruptions that are affecting everyone these days are resolved. Tara?
Alicia, thank you.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Well, it may not feel like it in Calgary, but winter has arrived in the mountains. Some ski hills opened this past week, earlier than originally planned for the season. It comes as resorts around the world contend with rising costs and climate change. But as Terry Fikowski reports, Alberta seems well positioned to weather the challenges.
There may only be one lift running so far at Lake Louise, but it's more than enough for eager skiers and boarders.
I love it. It's fantastic. Just good to be out on the snow.
I was really excited. I've been counting the days down.
Snowfall in the mountains also helped Sunshine open first in Canada, which marked the resort's earliest start since keeping records.
I hope to see a lot of powder.
Last season was a pretty hot season. There wasn't a lot of snow. Hopefully this year.
Research shows ski seasons are slowly shrinking around the globe due to the effects of climate change, a topic of conversation at a Protect Our Winters event in Canmore on Thursday. But this expert says the Rockies are built to last.
Alberta is well positioned, certainly in North America, but even around the world, as one of the most climate resilient ski markets. You've got the blessings of elevation that you can see in the background. You've got cold, you've got dry, you're well away from marine climates.
As ski and boarders keep their fingers crossed for a good snow season, one of the major challenges facing ski hills is the increasing cost to operate.
Everything from steel to equipment that we purchase, capital needs, to insurance, everything has gotten drastically more expensive.
Still, the industry is seeing record levels of capital investment.
We've built 4 lifts in the last 5 seasons, and we have another one coming online mid-December, is now it's looking like, and that's new lift and terrain on the backside on Richardson's Ridge.
The higher costs get passed on to ticket holders, which will set adults back $175 a day in peak season here at Louise, though not enough to keep the diehards away.
It sucks, it costs more money, but it's a sport I love.
I think it's definitely worth it.
I live in a cardboard box before I don't come back here.
Terry Fikowski, CTV News, Lake Louise.
Mount Norquay is opening for a sneak peek this weekend before its official opening next weekend, marking the hill's 100th year in operation. Danielle's here with us now. This is also supposed to be a La Nina winter, right? So that should also help.
Yeah, so we're currently in a La Nina pattern, and we should be in a La Nina pattern right up until at least February. And with this pattern, what this means is typically we are colder than normal and snowier than normal in Alberta and parts of BC. So that bodes well for the mountains, maybe not as much for the roads, but we are in that time of year where we get to golf and ski in the same day if you have some time to do it all. All right, it's 4 degrees right now. Believe it or not, we did get to a high 14 today. It came with the winds and that Chinook pattern. Tomorrow it will not be nearly as warm. 6 degrees will be our high, and throughout the morning and early afternoon, there is that chance of some mixed precipitation, even potentially including some freezing rain. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. This year is the 80th anniversary of Victory in Europe Day, and today in Calgary there was a ceremony to mark the event. This is a live shot of the impressive rows of crosses along Memorial Drive tonight. Earlier today, dozens of people joined veterans and members of the armed forces to commemorate the end of the Second World War in Europe. As Tim Brooke explains, it was an emotional event, but there was a message of hope.
As the sun prepared to come out over Calgary Thursday, a look back.
Today we're here at the Field of Crosses and we're honoring the 80th anniversary of the victory in Europe, which is kind of the end of the war.
Victory in Europe Day happened in May 1945. The field, which often hosts large gatherings in the lead up to Remembrance Day, wanted to mark the monumental occasion again.
And they had so many dreams and hopes, and they gave all of them up to fight in a land far from home.
Romances and meals and dinners and travel, they never had that part of life. And that's why it's so emotional.
Canadians and Allied soldiers accepted the surrender of German forces 80 years ago in the Netherlands. The Dutch still think fondly of Canadians, thanking them for the sacrifice to protect the country and its people.
It's just wonderful to see, and wonderful that we're teaching the youth about this past, but about why we can come here and celebrate in the middle of our city.
And remembering means passing stories like Victory in Europe Day on to the next generation.
Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. It felt really good to remember those who fought before us.
The Field of Crosses will host flag ceremonies at sunrise and sunset every day through to November 11th.
And I would just encourage everybody to come down and just take a look and just feel that peace, but that power as well that's down here.
Tim Brook, CTV News, Calgary.
And on November 11th, CTV Calgary will bring you the Remembrance Day service live from the Hangar Flight Museum on TV and online beginning at 10:30 a.m. It could take years for Jamaica to recover from Hurricane Melissa. Coming up, some of the fundraisers underway in Calgary to help those in the disaster zone. And major American cities are slashing airline capacity starting tomorrow as a result of the U.S. government shutdown. How that could impact Canadian travelers, too. A tanker truck carrying bitumen slid into the North Saskatchewan River this morning. The driver climbed on top of the vehicle and was rescued by firefighters in a boat. Smoky Lake RCMP say heavy snow and poor road conditions were factors. The tanker is leaking bitumen and an environmental team is cleaning up. Environmental concerns are rising in BC after a train derailed near Kamloops last weekend. About 80,000 liters of aviation fuel spilled when several cars tumbled off a steep slope at Kamloops Lake. Containment measures were set up as soon as possible, and the submerged train cars were the urgent focus. No one was hurt, and the cause of the derailment is still under investigation. The Canadian Armed Forces have been activated to help with Jamaican relief efforts. This comes as one Southern Albertan and his Jamaican family caught in Hurricane Melissa share their story, while in Calgary, people continue relief efforts. Tyler Barrow reports.
This is the aftermath from Hurricane Melissa, which tore through Montego Bay, where Lethbridge resident Derek Boyle lives with his family.
The first hurricane I ever been in. I hope it's the last one, but it was frightening. It was an experience I don't wish on anybody.
He lives there with his partner, who is pregnant, and stepson, who were able to make it out of the area.
We're in Kingston now for 2 more months. Just because I needed a stable place for when my son's born.
On Wednesday, Prime Minister Mark Carney spoke with the Prime Minister of Jamaica and Chair of the Caribbean Community. In addition to emergency supplies, the Prime Minister has also activated the Canadian Armed Forces Operational Support Hub in Jamaica. Calgarians are also doing their part to help. Modern Steakhouse will be hosting a 6-course Caribbean-inspired meal to raise money for rebuilding. The restaurant's owner lived in Montego Bay for 5 years.
It's time for us to step up and make sure we help them out.
For another Calgarian, Hurricane Melissa is a reminder of the past. She lived through powerful Hurricane Gilbert, which hit the island nation in September 1988.
I remember being in a house and seeing someone's roof, sitting on someone else's porch, or what we call veranda, and that forever lives in my mind, just the devastation.
Kimberly Douglas moved to Canada 5 months later. Now she's worried about family members she hasn't heard from due to Hurricane Melissa's damage. She launched a GoFundMe to help with relief efforts.
It is very devastating to see, very heart-wrenching to watch the suffering.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
And the Jamaican government says the death toll from Hurricane Melissa stands at 32.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Let's bring Danielle in one more time. We actually had a beautiful day here today, but it was so windy.
So windy. It's always a price. When we get this warm at this time of year, it always comes with those winds. We had that strong wind out of the west, so the Chinook pattern. 43 kilometers per hour was our maximum wind gust in Calgary. It certainly was windy in the afternoon hours. Not sure if you get that little bit of headache/haze with this, but this is a day for it if you do get it. 63 kilometers per hour. That was the max in Pincher Creek, but Lethbridge got over 70 and over 60 in Medicine Hat. In this corridor here, Medicine Hat to Lethbridge, Pincher Creek, Crow's Nest Pass, 60 to 70 kilometer per hour gusts, certainly likely for tomorrow, but it will be calmer in Calgary tomorrow. Temperatures, believe it or not, we did get up to 14 degrees earlier today, but we lost those winds. The winds have calmed down out of the west, so the temperatures are dropping fast because we're losing this Chinook pattern. 4 degrees right now in the city, 8 in Lethbridge and Medicine Hat, and we're in between two systems, so we're basically on a break right now, but this is what's on the way for tomorrow. So a lot of moisture on the other side of the mountains. It's going to work its way out, and basically the mountains are going to eat a lot of that moisture up, but we will have some of it spill over here. It should be light and more isolated, but there is the potential of pockets of freezing rain and snowfall, because when you look at the temperature profile from the surface and just above the surface, we'll be ranging around -1 to +3 tomorrow morning, which is why when we get the precipitation, it'll be mixed. So some raindrops, a little bit of freezing rain out there, and even some snowflakes with this. Now the first wave starts at about 4:30 in the morning, and then it spins around, drags in some cooler air. So even later in the morning, still snowflakes, freezing rain, and even rain mixed in with that as possible. Down the QE2, Calgary in through, down Highway 2 to the Lethbridge area, and then spilling over to Medicine Hat, especially in the afternoon hours. So it may be a little slick in some spots on some sidewalks and some roads, and then other areas will get nothing from this because it will be fairly isolated. 6 degrees is our high for tomorrow, which is quite a change from the 14 degrees that we had today, but we will get back up there again. Saturday, 7 degrees, and it should be dry. The wind should be calm, and the clouds will start to clear out. That sets us up for Sunday, 13 degrees and all sunshine. It will be a really nice day. And then 14 for Monday, Remembrance Day, headed to ceremonies. In the morning, we should be above that freezing mark with a high of 10 later in the day. That's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. The Supreme Court has dismissed an appeal by a BC ostrich farm to stop a cull order to euthanize its flock. Today's ruling is the end of a saga that began last December when dozens of birds died on the Universal Ostrich Farm. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency found traces of H5N1 in 2 dead birds and ordered the flock to be culled to contain the virus. The farm fought the order to the Supreme Court, which dismissed its appeal. More than 300 birds will now be euthanized. Virologists say testing the birds is not an alternative.
There's really no practical way to actually test these birds. We don't know where the birds might be shedding virus if they are indeed still infected. These are 7 to 9 foot tall birds that are very strong, very fast, very dangerous to people.
The farm was supported by members of the Trump administration, including Secretary of Health Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Chief of Medicare Dr. Mehmet Oz. And an American billionaire contributed $50,000 to the farm's legal fight and is asking Prime Minister Mark Carney to intervene. Transportation officials in the U.S. plan to slash air traffic by 10% at 40 major airports, including New York, Washington, Chicago, and Los Angeles, starting Friday. The FAA and the U.S. Transportation Department say traffic reduction is necessary to ease pressure on air traffic controllers and security screening agents who've been working without pay during the 36-day U.S. government shutdown. That has worsened staff shortages, caused widespread flight delays, and long security lines at American airports. And now it is expected to ripple through the Canadian system.
They're not exempt from this reduction. They will be affected by it. And the question is going to be, what does that mean?
WestJet and Air Canada say they are monitoring the situation. You should check with your airline if you're flying to or through the U.S. in the coming days. Those who work on the front lines of healthcare have tough jobs. A new survey reveals just how many are feeling burnt out. The impact of that for the rest of us could be immense. And later, what a good boy. We'll meet the Calgary Fire Department's newest arson detection dog. Alberta's drug toxicity crisis is pushing frontline healthcare workers to a breaking point. That's according to a new report suggesting paramedics and emergency staff are suffering burnout, facing violence and a system that is failing them. Mark Villani has more.
The lights are on.
But nobody's home. First responders and healthcare workers say they're being pushed to the absolute brink.
We had more than one person said they're spending over a third of their paycheck on therapy.
A new Parkland Institute report from the University of Alberta surveyed more than 500 Alberta healthcare workers, and nearly 70% say the drug toxicity crisis is causing burnout. Workers say their careers are at risk as they face more violence on the job.
Healthcare professionals are not getting the education and training they need.
Nationwide, drug poisonings each day account for an average 67 emergency department responses and 99 ambulance calls. Speaking to CTV News anonymously out of fear for losing their job, one Calgary paramedic called dispatch a nightmare.
We're just being run into the ground and nobody seems to care.
FOIP documents show thousands of orange alerts this summer with fewer than 3 ambulances available in Calgary or Edmonton. Meanwhile, thousands of other calls are pending, meaning no ambulances could respond. Staffing is also low. Some night shifts went less than 60% filled.
With pressure like that, no wonder paramedics logged 8,000 sick hours per month in Calgary from March to June.
That means long response times across the city. We're bringing in rural ambulances to do the calls from outside of the city.
You just know you're not going to stop all night.
But the province says things are improving. Drug poisoning deaths are down more than 35% since 2023. The UCP government says it has 4 new recovery communities and another 7 on the way. Its recently passed compassion intervention legislation also aims to provide more support.
We can't actually control how that person's going to live their lives, but we can offer meaningful tools, meaningful supports.
If we can do things differently for people with addictions, your wait times will be shorter in the emergency department and for ambulances.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
For a complete look at the Parkland Institute report, you can visit our CTV Calgary website. The CPKC holiday train is beginning its Christmas journey, and we're getting a sneak peek as it pulls out of Calgary to light its way across the country. The Calgary Fire Department showed off a valuable new asset today, one that is capable of detecting potential arson much faster than any human. Jacqueline Wilson reports.
This nose knows. Meet Titus. This 2-year-old American Field Labrador is the Calgary Fire Department's newest ignitable liquid detection canine.
Where there may be a suspicion of an accelerant being used, Titus can detect an ignitable liquid in minutes where current technology could take hours or even longer. His precise detection helps confirm or rule out accelerant use, which is critical for identifying potential arson, ensuring public safety, and supporting our fire investigations team.
Titus is the CFD's 5th fire investigation dog since 1991, but the only one working. His skills were showcased at Fire Station 39 on Thursday. He started training at just 8 weeks old and joined CFD in March, working alongside handler Brad Brooks, who has been a Calgary firefighter for 18 years. So far, Titus's incredible nose and skills have helped with over 30 cases.
1 drop of gasoline is 50 microliters. So canines like Titus can detect down to 0.2 microliters. So that's about 250 times less. And it really helps us as investigators come to some conclusions and help the arson side as well.
Brooks says Titus doesn't like baths, but has one after every visit to the scene of a fire. His favorite treats are chicken and hot dogs, and he's a very good boy. Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
If you would like to meet Titus, he and Brooks will be reading at the Central Library at 11 a.m. on November 27th. What a good, smart boy. Wow.
Yeah.
All right, well, you don't see flash mobs very often anymore. It was kind of a thing for a while, but if you do, I hope it's one as impressive as this.
I see a little silhouette of a man. Galileo.
The square in Paris comes alive with Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody. Mickey, the lead singer, surprises everyone when he channels a little Freddie Mercury, and then all the other singers are popping in and out of windows in the buildings surrounding the square.
And you know, they sound pretty good, right?
Yeah, that would be so fun if you were sitting there having lunch and all of a sudden this just started happening around you.
That's a lot to organize.
Yeah,
so cool.
Very good. Well, now to a couple who are totally okay with being part of different friend groups. Okay, you got to look closely here. So the doorbell camera footage shows who's the top dog in the house. It's the wife, because all the pups follow her. Meanwhile, the husband has a flock of feathered friends who follow him around everywhere on the property all day. He apparently didn't even want chickens, but now he's like the leader of the chickens. They follow him everywhere.
Now,
birds of a feather flock with dad.
Flock with dad, yeah, exactly.
That's so cute.
Well, Will Ferrell's elf costume is going up for auction just in time for the holiday season.
Looks like a Christmas tree. Sorry I can't ride with you the rest of the way up. Well, have a good time. Oh, I forgot to give you a hug.
However, that Buddy the Elf getup is not going to be cheap. It's expected to sell for as much as $264,000.
Whoa.
Yikes. The bidding will take place in December. It's part of Prop Store's Winter Entertainment Memorabilia live auction happening in London. More than 1,000 other items will also be up for auction. Altogether, it's expected to rake in more than $10 million.
Well, I'm not going to buy that, but I will watch Elf again this year.
Absolutely, yes. Every Christmas, 100%. Still to come, Canadian Tire's earnings report is out. The retailer reported higher sales, but lower profits. We have the details in our business report.
Skywatch weather camera. We had a really warm, bright day today. A lot of people would say very nice. The winds, though, it was quite gusty out there at times. And if you get the Chinook-type haze and headaches, this would have been a day for that for sure, because we had strong winds out of the west. This is a look at maximum wind gusts for today. So over 70 in Lethbridge, over 40 in Calgary. Now south of Calgary, that corridor, Pincher Creek, Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, it will be just as gusty, if not gustier tomorrow, 60 to 70 kilometers per hour. For us in Calgary, though, we're going to quiet down on the winds. So calm winds tomorrow, but mixed precipitation. 4 degrees is the temperature in Calgary right now. We did get to 14, but temperatures are dropping fast because we're losing that wind and that Chinook pattern out of the west. This is a radar and satellite. This is the next system on the way. And because we're looking at the atmosphere from surface and just above the surface being around that freezing mark, basically anywhere from -1 to +3, we're looking at that mixed precipitation being possible with this. So no wind chill to deal with in the morning, but rain, freezing rain, and snowflakes possible. Now this will be isolated. It should be light in nature if you get it in your area, but that's the possibility throughout the morning and early afternoon. That's your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. Just a little walk around here. 10 degrees for Kelowna tomorrow, 12 for Kamloops, -1 for Edmonton, and they're looking at snowfall. Edmonton, Slave Lake, Red Deer, Rocky Mountain House, and as we head further south, we're looking more of that mixed precipitation. Calgary, Drumheller, Coronation could be heavy in Coronation and Drumheller tomorrow. Medicine Hat a high of 9, Lethbridge 8. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. Alberta Conservative MP Matt Jeneroux has resigned from the party. He says he's not crossing the floor to the Liberals. He plans to step down in the spring. Meanwhile, the Liberal government survived a vote of confidence on the budget this afternoon. The Alberta Teachers Association is challenging the UCP government's use of the notwithstanding clause in court. The province says it will vigorously defend its position. And a 21-year-old Calgary man is now charged with sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl in Hawaii. Police allege the man met the girl on the popular online game Roblox. A trailer is out for a Netflix series shot in the Calgary area.
We are at a crossroads, Fiona. My pursuit of your land is not greed. It is survival.
The Abandons is a Western starring Lena Headey from Game of Thrones and Gillian Anderson, famous for her role in The X-Files. They play mothers in a battle of the haves and the have-nots. The show is set in Oregon, but it was filmed around Calgary in 2024. It premieres December 4th. The holiday train has become a tradition for many families in North America. Today, the train left Calgary on its way to Montreal, where it will then be split in two. One heads south to New Orleans. The second will head back west to Vancouver. CPKC says the goal of the train is to get people into the Christmas spirit, but it is also a major boost for local food banks. Kevin Fleming reports.
It's primed and ready for its 6-week trip. The holiday train is based in Calgary at CPKC's corporate headquarters, where crews get everything ready for its festive journey.
It started back in 1999, so we're rolling into our 27th year. It was, derived as a concept of a way to give back to communities where we operate, and how do we make a difference by, fighting food insecurity.
The train consists of 30 cars that will be split into two once it arrives in Montreal. It's hard to see in the daylight, but the boxcars have Christmas-themed light designs on them that shine bright at night.
We actually change out the light displays on the boxcars every 2 years. So we'll do a new light display, and that train will go across Canada, and then the next year we shift that train to the United States and redo the lights for the Canadian train, so that every year you come to see the train, there's going to be something new to see.
Peter Boyle says the trains host a variety of artists in a boxcar where the side drops down to create a stage.
When the stage comes down, the kids will come up around the stage and they're waving, they're singing the Christmas carols, and it's just so much fun. And for us anyways, I find the kids, Christmas and kids is great.
So it's really a credit to these artists as well, that they're willing to come and live on the train for 7 to 10 days and do between 4 and 6 shows a day, because it's kind of a grind for them.
Justin Tracy made his first holiday train trip in 2008, and it's now become his Christmas tradition.
It's for a great cause, but, when folks can come out with their families and enjoy a concert, enjoy giving back to the community like this, I don't think there's a better tool.
The two trains begin their month-long journeys on November 19th. The Canadian train is scheduled to stop in Calgary December 12th. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Always exciting. We have earnings reports from several big Canadian companies today, including Canadian Tire. Here's BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez.
The retailer reported lower profit in its third quarter. Canadian Tire blames restructuring and other costs for the drop. The company's renovating stores and reorganizing its business, but sales were up at two other retail businesses it owns, Sport Chek and Mark's. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down a fraction to 70.84. West Texas Intermediate crude is down slightly to 59.43. Western Canadian Select also down over $1 to 48.07. And the TSX dropped another 234 points today to move back under 30,000. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
MEG Energy shareholders have given their blessing to an $8.6 billion takeover by Cenovus. More than 86% of shareholders voted in favor of the deal between the two Calgary-based energy companies. The deal comes after 3 vote delays and 2 sweetened bids. At the Saddle Dome last night, it was a big night for Nazem Kadri and for the rest of the team, too. Glenn joins us next.
We will remember. Watch live coverage of Calgary's Remembrance Day ceremony with Tara Nelson, November 11th at 10:30 a.m. on CTV, streaming through the CTV News app and at ctvnewscalgary.ca.
A very special night at the Saddle Dome as Nazem Kadri played his 1,000th NHL game, and his daughter Nyla read the starting lineup.
Mac and cheese, number 52. Wolf, 32. And 91, Kadri.
Cute. That adorable opening seemed to work for the Flames as they recorded a 5-1 victory over the Columbus Blue Jackets. And the 35-year-old Kadri scored one of those goals. Glenn is back with us. That was a very memorable night.
Terry, you could tell it meant so much to Nazem Kadri and his family. And for the Flames to get a victory over Columbus, well, that was just icing on the cake. The Kadri family there for the celebration, and Nazem got his silver stick for playing 1,000 games in the NHL, and it's a great start for the Flames. Just 56 seconds in, Jonathan Huberdeau, the shot from the point. Morgan Frost gets his stick on it in front. That's his third 1-0 Flames. 36 seconds after that, The Flames are back for more. Blake Coleman just fires it at the net, and he beats Jet Greaves. He has now a 6 on the season, 2-0. Second period we go, Flames 2-on-1, and this was what everyone was waiting for. Joel Farabee to Kadri. He scores. He buries that one. What a night for number 91. Flames up 3-0. 37 seconds after that, Adam Klapka puts this one out of reach as he beats Greaves on the 2-on-1. And Dustin Wolf, well, he did the rest. He was brilliant last night, stopping 43 of 44 shots, including 22 in the third period. Flames beat the Blue Jackets 5-1, and Kadri loved every minute of this special night. Big win, and his goal in the second capped it all off.
That felt pretty good too. I mean, just a sequence of events that happened today. It's tough to really rank like what's most special. You know, I put them all up there, but you know, scoring a goal in your 1000th game, I mean, that doesn't get much better than that.
I was saying on the bench I should have kept my 91 jersey on from warm-ups and just looked them off, but no, yeah, it was one of those plays. It was a forward playing D, so I knew I had a really good chance, and I saw Naz, so it was pretty simple where it was going. So.
And the Flames go up against Connor Bedard and the Chicago Blackhawks tomorrow night. Calgary Canucks, they're back in action tomorrow night as well. Canucks travel to Olds to take on the Grizzlies. For hometown boy Noah Nelson, it's been a great start to the season. Noah Nelson played community hockey with McKnight and then went on to play with the Calgary North Stars. So Nelson is familiar with the Calgary Canucks, and it meant a lot to him when he won the starting goaltender's job.
It's always been something that's, you know, kind of in the back of your head. You know, you're never too sure where you might end up in junior, but, you know, I couldn't be happier, you know, to be where I am.
Head coach Matt Robinson says Nelson gives the Canucks a chance to win every night when he's between the pipes, and he's earned the starter's job.
Yeah, we had lots of guys come through, and you know, he's shown that he can play at this level and that he can be successful, so we're glad to have him.
It's been a great start to the season for the 20-year-old. Nelson is 7-3 with a 2.62 goals against average, and he has one shutout. He's helped lead the Canucks into first place in the South Division.
Yeah, I think that, you know, it's going well, but you know, I think we're really looking to keep making a push. You know, we want to play that full 60-minute effort. You know, I think we're really trending upwards, so it's looking good.
Although he didn't play any games, Nelson spent some time around the Canucks last season. He learned a lot from the Centennial Cup winning team.
Yeah, I think that, you know, it's a winning culture. I think it was, you know, big for me to be a part of that last year and see, you know, the work that it takes to really truly be a winner. And, you know, I think we're taking that and, you know, really building for this season.
And it's a busy weekend for the Canucks. They also host Fort McMurray on Saturday.
We had golfing and skiing all in one day today.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that.
I mean, that's the challenge for you, Glenn. Can you do both?
How do I cover both or play both?
You could do both. You could do both.
I like it.
Yeah, it's a pretty special time of year, I would say. Okay, tomorrow, though, today was sunny, and yeah, it was windy, but it's sunny and warm. Tomorrow will be much cooler, not as bright, and we have the chance of freezing rain, and even some snowflakes with this. Now, it should be fairly light in nature for the city in particular, but we have the chance of that in isolated areas. Some neighborhoods will get it, some neighborhoods won't for tomorrow. All right. A weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, Alberta's climate. Stan Williams sent this in from Canmore. I'm going to take off the banner here so you can see the full shot in all its glory.
Wow.
And that was when, in the last couple nights, when you could see the supermoon, beaver moon.
That's beautiful. Well done, Stan.
Yeah.
Snow on the ground.
Thanks for your company tonight. Have a terrific evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.